Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the Apex Racing Academy VRS F3 Super Series here at the Nürburgring. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Sam Fitzpatrick, and we have Marco Barbonera in the production booth here, and you're watching Apex Racing TV.
It's a pleasure to be here for the opening rounds of the championship. 9 meetings of this championship to come for the drivers to deal with, and quite a cool host for the opening round of the season. Austin, we couldn't visit Alton Park, unfortunately. That's where the official series is this week, but I think Nürburgring is not a bad substitute by any means.
Nürburgring, it's a very grand track. It's very wide and open. Alton Park, it makes it a little bit scared, but I gotta say, what a place to start a series at. Nürburgring is probably my most racetrack on the sim. It's even in the Grand Prix format. I just love this place. The Eiffel Mountain's so fun to race and just spectator race at.
Absolutely,
I would have preferred Coda, but I'm slightly biased there.
Wow, okay, I'm sure the drivers wouldn't have, so I'm glad that we went for Nürburgring instead. But no, elevation change around this place, some long, kind of high speed and medium speed corners, and then we're also using the GP layout, so you've got that tight chicane right at the end of the lap for the drivers to deal with. We're currently in a 10-minute qualifying session, and we've got quite an exciting format tonight. Anyone who's watched the first 2 series of this championship will know that we have a 10-minute solo qualifying followed by 2 15-minute heats. The top or the drivers who don't finish in the top 12 in either of those races go through to a consolation race, and the top 6 of them go to the feature, and the top 12 of the feature of the heat races go through to the feature as well. Maybe I haven't explained that very well, but basically we're going to have 30 cars for the final, and you've got to drive very well in order to get there. So yeah, all about that top 12 in the heat races, but in this qualifying, it's all about just trying to get yourself as far up the order as possible, and that could really set you on the right course for tonight's race and, well, the rest of the season.
Yeah, we got 2 heat races, a consolation race, and the grand final. It looks like a good old day. It looks like a good day of short track racing if you just look at the format over here in the States. But no, it's pretty much short track racing on the road courses. So it's going to be a lot of chaos and a lot of fun here.
Yeah, lots of overtaking hopefully to come.
Cleanly
and I think this
overtakes.
Yes. Well, we did have a word with the drivers earlier on. Say, don't crash into one another. So if that doesn't work, I don't know what will, frankly. I think there will be a lot of overtaking as well, because we've got a lot of slipstreaming. This Senna S that we're currently going through with Connor Bell should be a great opportunity. All flat out through there, he can get a very good run. As we have these very nice F3 cameras. I do like these F3 cameras more than most of our other cameras. Still, these laps are coming in 4 lap times the drivers can set, so I expect those qualifying laps to be coming in pretty much all the way to the finish. Before the broadcast went live, Austin, you said how you are an expert of these cars and bigger. Will the drivers be returning to the pits to get a fresh set of tyres during this qualifying session, or do you think they'll be on the same set of tyres for the whole 4 laps?
Same set of tires. I do know a few people who do prefer taking new tires, but in this situation, 4 laps are just going to be refreshing those tires, and you have to do an entire out lap to warm these things up. And they take a few more laps, about 1 to 2 laps, maybe 3 laps if the temperature is really against you, to really make these things work at the top of their level. But they're going to be on the same set throughout all 4 laps here, as I'm pretty sure that's what Steven Westerhoff is doing right now.
Yeah, he is going for his, Hyman, who we're currently watching now, is going for his 3rd lap. Pretty much everyone's going for their 3rd lap at the moment. So they've done their first 2 laps and got 2 more laps to go. So, yes, nearly a 2-minute lap time around this circuit. Of course, these cars race around here, I believe, in the Euro F3 Championship. These cars aren't really used anymore, at least for that series. That series doesn't exist anymore. It was kind of turned into Formula 3, which run different cars. But these cars do have quite lots of heritage around this place. Currently Westerhoff at the top of the stands, and you can see on the timing tower, the red indicates apologies, red indicates amateur drivers, which you wouldn't expect because top two are amateur drivers. But the green represents the pro drivers. So quite a mix-up at the moment. Those are subject to change depending on what mood we're in.
Yeah, it is subject to change. It is currently based on iRating, but I'm pretty sure skill might promote some drivers into a different category. Because I remember last time where I raced in the series, you had me as pro and I barrel rolled it at every single race I was in.
Yeah, that was a bad error, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bad error, and I'm still holding it against you.
Well,
or
yeah.
Dane, whoever it was.
Yeah, it was Dane. All from Dane.
It was always Dane.
Lots of jobs going across. Kelly up there in second place, so still improvements coming in. Any more improvement? Martu is now at the top, but I think Westerhoff is he's a little bit behind these guys, but that's not a very good lap there for Westerhoff, so he stays in fourth.
Yeah, last lap, and there is the pro of Raul Hyman taking the provisional pole of 149, 147 by 3/10 ahead of Marteau right there. And Kelly, Kelly's off the track. I think Kelly's just crashed the car.
That's game over for him. That's a big time, isn't it, from Hyman? He wasn't at the top before, but those times have gone down by like a second in like 2 laps.
Yep, 2
Is
laps.
That just the tires getting warmer?
That's them warming up, getting up the pressure, and actually being able to sit down and grip at the tarmac.
I really had no idea it was that steep a climb, but the drivers are really showing how much of a difference that makes.
It's going to be even faster because they're on their final lap right now, so I'm expecting that top time to really start changing. The top 6 all within a second, that's going to close down very soon.
Kind of reminds me of the old Formula 1 format where I think you had to start your Q3 with your race start fuel. And so I think the drivers would just get faster and faster as the session went on, and pretty much the only lap that counts was your last lap. So that's kind of what we're seeing. Marchu then, is he going to be able to battle Hyman? Surely he can't make up 4/10, but everyone's going to do it. It's probably going to be him. I was a bit slow across the line, but it was an improvement. 3/10 down
like
on Hyman.
hundredth of a second. Paulo Dreta up in a second. He's up down to 10th right there. Red First is going to park it at the line. Sits in 5th. Costa da Silva coming out of Coca-Cola corner. As we're looking at a provisional pole sitter, is he going to slam a new fastest lap in? Does not improve.
And I hope we see plenty of Costa da Silva up there on the stands, because we had to make a change to the overlay just to fit in his name, because it's many characters long. So if we don't see if Costa da Silva's too far down the order, I'm not going to be pleased, honestly, as well, we've got Heat 1 up, so this is all the odd drivers, and this is the grid we have for the first race of the season.
Yeah, first grid of the season. I think I'll take the honors. I'll let you take Heat 2, and then we can fight each other for the final and Consolation. Raul Hyman's going to be starting up there on pole, followed by Kia, Tiago Marteau, Steven Westerhoff, Brian Korn, Aaron Smith, Connor Bell, Rock Miser, Daniel Costa da Silva, Kevin Kittleman, Jackson Bell, Brett Kakari, and Chuck Morrow in 12th place, followed by Derek Holland, Jack Reeve, Bryce Carter, Christian Engelhart, Rick Van Ekeren, and Alexander Roggenbuck at the end of this 18-car grid for the first seat of the Apex Racing Academy F3 Series here at the Nürburgring.
Our producer, Marco Barbinet, doing a brilliant job. You can see in the top left there, the top 12 advanced from this race. So it's just making it clear that 12th place is the one that matters. I was saying to the drivers earlier on, it doesn't matter where you finish. As long as you're in the top 12, it's all right, because the difference between finishing in, say, 10th place and finishing in 13th place is such a world of difference. So if you're in those places and there's not much of a rush to get yourself in the top 12, just keep your place, because 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 starting places isn't going to change. But if you're outside the top 12 in this race, then it can so easily go wrong for the Consolation, and then you can't even earn points in the feature. So all about keeping it clean in these heats.
It certainly is about keeping it clean. For our pro drivers up front, they really want to keep it clean, because you do not want to be going out in the first heat by an incident But knowing some of these drivers, they always get that itch to just go as steep as they can. We're going to find out who's going to be on top. First heat about to go underway as it's go, go, go here at the Nürburgring. And here we go. Hyman and Marto get a good start across the line. A few spots being made up already as they head into the first gate. Look at that 263 diving it down to the inside. That's Steven Westerhoff jumping into second place.
Well, it wasn't a great qualifying for Westerhoff. He was in provisional pole, fell down the order. By the end, oh, we got a spinner in the middle of the circuit. Oh,
that's
just
Aaron Smith.
They haven't. That was, yeah, Smith, as you say, Punkari as well gets involved. Now, these drivers do have a faster pair, but they've got to make sure they get back to the pits, because if you finish more than one lap down, then you don't score points. And if you tie, then you're almost certainly going to be one lap down, or 2 laps down. So really important that one as Hyman pulls away. But what a move from Westerhoff there. He's up 1 place. And Jackson Bell. Oh no, Jackson Bell's falling down. He was up 4 places.
Hit the gravel.
And that was kind of a curse because he's off the circuit.
Oh, it comes across the track, almost side-swiping Roggenbuck. And Roggenbuck turns around, just a little bit of scared, locked up the brakes. We got side-by-side battles coming out of the hairpin, heading into the Michael Schumacher S's.
Yeah, is Matsu going to go for the move? No, they're going defensive already, and Hyman's gone. I mean, that could be the race gone already, because they could have maybe kept in the draft. Though Hyman actually just making a little bit of a mistake. Mauro is off the circuit, and look as well at Marto. But yeah, Mauro's dropped down. He was up in the top 10, and Carter as well. It's all going on the opening lap of this race.
Yeah, this is bringing back memories of Aura of old. I remember where it was just like everyone's getting their first feet wet, getting a feel for this field, because they've just been practicing this entire time. None of these drivers have really raced each other. It's a giant spread of iRacing. They're usually used to racing some drivers who race a certain style, and in leagues, the drivers who race a certain style. So when you mix styles of racing, you do get a little bit of mismatches. We got a good look on the inside of Kroon, trying to ease his way on Marto right there. Marto holding around to the outside. Now Marto's got the inside line, but that inside line is a little bit slower than that outside line because it's so slick right there. So Kroon around the outside, trying to make that move work. He's got to make that rear end bite, swings it around and up into third place.
Yeah, wonderful move there from Brian Kroon, who's had his fair share of championships for Apex Racing League. He's raced in the Porsche Cup Championship, he's raced in the GTE Championship as well, and now entering the Formula 3 Championship for Indy Autosport, who have fielded several drivers for this championship, and top 3 would be very good for him at the moment. Oh, there's contact behind.
Marto's hit.
I think he's round.
He's around.
Yeah, he's round.
Oh no. Bell got into his gearbox, and Martel, he's just waiting for the rest of the field to get around him. But that was just a little bit of misjudgment right there from Christopher Bell. He's following them. They went very late on the brakes and unfortunately just got into the gearbox. It was just a very light tap too. So unfortunately, that has happened for the Shiju driver of Marto in that 224. No damage I can see, so we still might be seeing him try to make a challenge for the 12th place spot.
Yeah, that's possible. I think for Marseille, he's only got... to be honest, with the craziness we're seeing so far, I reckon that was probably going to be a couple of crashes ahead of him. So as long as he keeps it clean, he should be able to make his way up. As we see the shoulder cam on board with Christian Engelhardt, up 7 places from his start. Oh, race so far for Engelhardt. Already 12 seconds off the lead though. And we've just completed the third lap of the race. Third lap of the race. Here we go.
It's a timed race.
It's a timed race, so I'm struggling to keep up what lap it is. Oh,
it's lap 3. Thank you, Marco.
That was at the end of lap 2 then. Okay, no, it's just very slow laps. I was like, what? 2-minute laps? But no, that is kind of true.
Well, it is a long track, and these F3 cars aren't like the high-powered cars that some of us are used to driving. They do have a little get up and go in them, but in all reality, they do take a while to get here. Just like the Nürburgring, the Nordschleifer, it's a very long track, and these cars take a while to get around here, and it's almost 2-minute lap times. You don't think of it as a 2-minute lap time when you're out there on track, but in all reality, this track is really long.
yeah, so it's a proper Grand Prix. Like it's a very good facility, I believe, as well. They invest all their money, I'm aware of, in their siren. So when you come into the pits, the siren lights up the forests because they pumped millions into that. That's like, I think they got it off like the US Army or something. Lots of development into that because, well, a lot of noise comes from just a klaxon, it seems.
Was that an American joke? You just threw at me.
Oh, it wasn't even a joke, really. It was
it's a fact. I know. It's more of a
it's
more of a stereotypical fact. I'm not upset. I'm just like, did you really just pull that out?
Well, quickly get away from politics, especially that one. We have Smith up into 10th and Holland now in the last position. He is up one place
mowing the grass off that exit. And he's fallen away from this group ahead between Jackson Bell and Aaron Smith, as they're going to go side by side heading into this hairpin. Oh, that's a big lockup right there from Smith.
Otto managed to catch these guys by... Well, he managed to catch Holland there by 5 seconds.
Well, he just put in the fastest lap of the race. He just put in the fastest lap of the race. No wonder he's catching up to everybody. And we might... Yeah, there he is at the very end of this train. As off is Reeve.
And out of the places.
And now Marteau just needs one more spot to get himself back into the advancing group. As Raul Hyman is just probably enjoying the Eiffel Mountains right now.
Yeah.
And off goes Ackerman. Robles comes across the track. That back end needed to be planted. And Marteau is back in 12th.
Yep.
The race might only be 15 minutes, but you can still make up a lot of ground if you know what you're doing. And he might just be ranked an amateur, but he certainly has this car under control underneath himself. And oh, big spin! Holland's around.
Well, he had a couple of poor laps, Holland, and that's another one of them. That is bad news for Derek Holland. Quite an experienced driver. He's done a couple of seasons in this series, but he is, I imagine, heading to the Consolation race. Of course, Mario and Punkari already booking their places, if you will. I don't think it's a very nice place to go, to be honest, but that's the place that they're going to have to go.
Yeah, 7 minutes, 50 seconds down. Well, we're already past halfway, so we're looking at about 10 laps of racing here today for this first heat, and that just shows you on how much these guys have to be on top of their game for 10 laps and just try to get into that top 12. And when you see top 12 and only 18 drivers out on track, you think there's not a lot of room for error here.
Yeah. Absolutely, and your finishing result for this race, it gets you points, for one thing. There's more points on offer for the feature race than there is for the heat race. There's no points on offer for the Consolation race, I should clarify. So there are some points on offer, but yeah, they're a smaller amount than the final. And of course, it also decides your grid position, so every position you make up, you start 2 places further up on the grid. I wouldn't say that's absolutely decisive because, as we've seen so far, we've got a lot of changed places. Englehart's up 8 places, for example, in 9 minutes, and or he was up those places already in 5 minutes, and then the final race is 20 minutes long, so it's not absolutely pivotal your starting place, but it is quite a nice luxury for you in order to do that. As Maju is going to get up to 9th place. I think this might be the last car that he gets because he's got 9 seconds to the next one, but this is very easy for him to get past Bell.
Yep, straight down the inside, very late on the brakes, textbook move, and I gotta say, you probably just commentated curse somebody in the top 5. Usually that's something I would do. You probably commentated curse somebody in the top 5 with what you just said.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Kind of half wanted earlier on. Many more to go across 9 meetings this championship. And of course, if you want to sign up for this championship, do go to apexracingleague.com and you can find entry details on there. Like I said, 9 meetings. Great thing about this championship is it's just so accessible for everyone. So really, all skill levels are welcome. Raul Jaime is a terrific driver, and then we've got some slightly slower drivers further down the order. But it follows the F3 official series, and with your entry, you get a free 1-month subscription to Apex Racing Academy. So by doing that, then you get some very nice setups on your hands, designed by some of the best drivers in this Formula 3 car. So you do check out apexracingleague.com to sign up to this series, along with our 5 other series which are currently going on, soon to be 6. So it's all very exciting. Yeah, do check out the website.
And all the sessions are easily accessible, a lot of practice, and most of the drivers in there are free to help out other drivers struggling to find pace. When I raced in Aura a few seasons ago, I was at the bottom of the table, and I finished out the season by getting on top of the podium, well, not on top, onto the podium, and I first wouldn't even expect to get there, but, you know, with the help of everyone at Aura and everyone on the grid, it was such a welcoming series. I highly recommend anyone for hopping into here, and I'm not being paid or held at gunpoint to say this.
Thanks, one of us. Our producer just pointing out something.
I'm not being paid to say positive things about Aura, but I am being paid to talk.
I don't think I've ever heard someone call it Ara, as Reeve just gets past me. Is this something that you've created, or is this something in America that happens?
Yeah, in America, we just talk in acronyms.
Okay.
Or that just may be Texan. I'm not sure. I've always grew up in anything just acronym. You just say the acronym, someone will know it. I
mean, some of our UK stuff is quite dumb, so we have the Football Association, we say FA instead of just FA. And meanwhile, we have FIFA, which we don't say FIFA. And of course, FIA as well, that could be FIA. So I think you're probably the correct ones. Or I was nearly going to make another political point there, but
someone clip this.
I'm
going to hold this against Sam.
Gotta stay away from all that. Oh yes, yep. One of our colleagues at Apex Racing League. Yes, does say FIFA.
I don't watch soccer.
Shout out to Daniel Costa de Silva. He's up there in 5th place, and he's been making our efforts on the overlay worthwhile with his 14 character name in 5th position. But he's got Merzel, who literally signed up for this championship 20 minutes before the session started. So he's a very late entry, but he's doing very well up there in 6th place, and he's catching up by 6/10 on that last lap.
Yeah, Merzel is on Silva's tail right there, and Silva needs to well, pick up the pace and watch out, because he might be under heat very soon. Yeah, half a second gained that entire last lap. This is going to get very interesting with, I would say, about 2 laps remaining here at the Nürburgring, and I gotta be honest, kind of wish you're at the Nordschleifer, but yeah, we would only get about 2 laps in.
Yeah. I've never seen these cars around Nordschleifer, and I don't think I want to.
Indy Pro 2000 around the Nordschleifer is fun, which is this week, and we got an inside look from Connor Bell on Brian Kroon. 2 pros going at it right now, trying to get the most points out of this. Already fighting for the championship lead. You can tell a driver's a pro by the green on their timing tower or the green on their roll hoop and mirrors. And if you're wondering why there's a lot of white cars, they didn't get their paints to Marco in time.
Hopefully we'll have those paints up for you later on, so apologies if it's a bit of a bland.
Look at this.
Oh, here we go.
Very late dive onto the brakes. And textbook position for Connor Bell. White flag in the air. One more lap to go here in the Apex Racing Academy F3 Series, heat number 1.
Right, he might be able to come back here, feeling the need to go defensive as Bell. Crone in the draft.
He's all in that draft. He's going for that outside line. We saw him do this earlier in the race, going for a very wide berth and going to try to get that inside apex out there, and he can hold that speed through there. He knows how to keep that back end planted. See Kroon on that outside though. The Kroon's on the inside, Bell's on the outside. Kroon immediately gets that position back to the switchback, but watch Bell off that exit.
Just 2 points, guys. Come on, don't take each other out. It's not worth it. But
hey, Marco and I, we've seen the championship go down to 1 point. Every points matter.
Absolutely, but I'd say yes. Well, we'll see. If they take each other out, then I can say I told you so. If they don't, then I'd rather you stayed quiet, honestly.
If one of these 2 drivers wins the championship, I'm just going to look at you and just raise my eyebrows and be like,
Okay, by 1 point then. By 1 or 2 points, I'll give you that, and I'll retire from commentating.
No, don't retire to commentating. Don't retire to the commentating, man. I like having you in the booth. You're awesome. You just need to wear Austin Woods' right shirt.
What a nice thing to say is Ivan is producing a very nice drive out in the lead. He's got 1 more corner, so you're going to take the first race win of the season.
Yeah, first heat win of the season. We still got the main race coming in, but you know, it's just like the F3 series in real life. You got a few sprint races, then you got the feature race. Hyman takes the first checkered of the season, followed by Westerhoff, as Marto gets up into 8th place right before the last lap, unlike the 9th that Sam said.
Jeez, we're not going to be able to. We're literally 136th into the season, and
we're already just.
We're already taking chunks out of each other. Yes, well done from Crone to get up into 3rd, and I don't know what was going on with Engelhardt at the end. He stepped down. Yeah, it wasn't that bad a lap, but yeah, Marseille managed to get back to the end. He was lapping about 2.5 seconds lap faster. Reeve in the final position, going through to the feature race. He doesn't have to bother with the consolation. Smith gets home in 13th, and Holland finishes in 14th. Carter and Roggenbuck will be the last of the runners, and Mare and Punkari will join Smith, Holland, Carter and Roggenbuck in that consolation race. Certainly not the end of their evening, but that does heavily limit their starting position for the feature race if they manage to get through, which, well, I doubt all of them will get through. There's only 6 places available.
Yeah, 6 spots available. As everyone gets across the line, we get ready to start up heat number 2, full of an entirely new different grid. Is going to be challenging for another top 12. But first heat rundown, what were you thinking of that race, and what can we expect for race 2?
So yeah, should be a good race to this. We've just got 1 minute to go. So here is the results. You can see it for yourself, and we'll quickly go through the grid as well for this heat 2. It's Jaitzer on pole. That's Jordan Kelly, Will Redford, Daniel Sivisabe, and Florian Beer, top of the amateur drivers. The rest of the drivers will go for you here. I'm not going to try to... well, actually, I had some fairly easy names there, so I could have done that if I wanted. The Arafeg brothers, relations, starting at the back as the green flag is out.
It's a immediate right-handed move for Dreta, cutting off the nose of Kelly and making sure no inside moves were attempted. He definitely saw the start of the first one, but he's spotted off the exit. And that's the risk.
That's dangerous.
That is a risky reach one, but that was the risk of taking that inside line. You can really overcook that corner, and it's such a tight corner. You don't want to be overcooking it. There's chaos in the backfield. A lot of smoke being thrown up into the air.
Collins has really been left behind. I think he might be out of the race already. Yeah, he's turning back. As a Beer going for the big move. This would be 3rd position, but Sivisabe is holding on. Redford up a place, whereas pretty much they've all gained a place from Jaitzer's over-ambition. He had it covered, didn't he? But maybe he got scared off, thinking that everyone else was going to crash into him, let off the brake, and didn't make the corner. Huge mistake, but he can still get well within the top 12.
He could have been on the brakes just a little bit more, but how wide he was and how tight of a turn he did, he caught out the back end, and he tried to save it. It just got caught on the gravel. But he's still within the top 10, so it's not race over. It's just, you know, learning experience. You don't want to try to do that, and now he's just going to have a recovery drive for track position in the final.
Yeah, I think he could still get a podium maybe, but it's just fought with risk compared to being out in the lead side by side for the amateur lead. Beer, despite getting up to third place for a moment, has fallen back as Kelly is having to go defensive against Redford. It's much more exciting at the front than it was in race 1 when we saw Hyman just sprint away because it got so outside for the lead as we move on to lap 2.
Yeah, Justin is around it. Dreyta's in the pit lane as we're going side by side for the lead into the hairpin, inside outside line, almost 3 wide going into there, which is always entertaining to see as Daniel Stevie Sabo is just having a good time watching these two drivers duke it out right now.
Seem to have some paints free now, so good work from our producer Marco Barbanet to sort that all out. Apologies if they weren't there for Heat 1, but so everyone's got at least one more race to go tonight, so it's not too much of a worry. You're right, Sui Sabe, just looking to pick up the pieces from this for Indy Autosports White. He's in a good position at the moment. Coles and Boberg. Also on for 9th and 10th. Coles just had a bit of an issue, actually. That's the other Indy Autosports driver in this race. And he is having to fight tooth and nail just for 10th place at the moment. He's going to be done by done.
Oh, this is tight.
I'm sure there's much stuff we can do about that. Oh, they're nearly done after that contact.
He's gave him the position back. I think he's going to try to get it. Yeah, he did give the position back. He knew he would. He didn't leave the space, and all the time you have to leave the space. And he might also have some damage from that wheel-to-wheel contact.
Yeah, very good. These single-seaters.
Dreyta went into the pits to get his fast repair done, so he might have had a little bit of damage coming back out onto track. So
yeah, 1.53 seconds, so yeah, just in and immediately gone. So I still think he'll get top 12, but he's got some work to do.
Yeah, definitely top 12 is possible. We've seen that from Marteau as Will the unit Redford trying to hold it around the outside of Jordan Kelly. And he's going to try to go for the switchback. Ooh, Kelly back end kicking out just a little bit, looking a little bit loose here. And I've been told by a few drivers in the Formula 3.5 series that this track is like driving on sandpaper. The grip is all over the place. And ooh, Mitchell Green is around, as well as Alok Iyengar.
Iyengar was up later places. He was in like 7th place. He started from the back along with his relative. We really need to sort that one out. Yeah, that is bad news. Still within the reverse grid. Apologies, no, it was the Arafag brothers, wasn't it? Apologies. They didn't really sound similar. Are they both? Nah, they're not from the same country. Oh no, poor stuff. Well, it's bad news anyway. Spin, and yeah, Green's down to 10th position as we're on board with Brunstad, up 3 places from his start, and he is in the draft of Flo and Beer. These two have been very close to one another ever since the end of lap 1.
Yeah, they've been very close, and it's going to be very interesting. And speaking of being very close, this top 3, well, getting a very competitive look on each other. And you know, we saw 10 laps being done in the first race. I think we've got another 7 laps here left for this race in heat number 2. And timed races, they can be have as many laps as you want or as short as laps you want. It just depends on how many aliens are in the session.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's so we might have a move for second place.
116.
Siri Sabo going up the inside into the hairpin. and he has that one covered off. That wasn't much of a fight there from Redford. Redford, new driver actually. Kelly and Sabo we've seen plenty of on Apex Racing TV, but Redford doing the smart thing there, letting Sabo go. As I say that, he looks to try to bring the position back, and they are losing time to the race leader. But let's see what Sabo can do, whether or not he can start to close in that gap. Was he faster than Redford after all?
I think that's what Redford is going to be finding out right now. Sabo seems a little bit more precautious on how he's driving compared to what Redford was trying. He was going for the lead. Sabo was just sitting back there and just studying. So, you know, we might bring up our lap time comparisons very soon for Sabo and Redford, and just comparing the two. But it looks like the 116 is pulling away.
What's the draft range in this car? It looks like Sabo is gaining time down the straights, but a second back, is the draft that big?
I would say about 1.4 would be that. It's not Formula 3.5 range, which is in 2 seconds. So these cars throw up some draft, but it's not as it doesn't punch as big as a hole pocket as some of the bigger cars or the MX-5.
Oh, this is close. Arafag just clear of Jay. Oh, so this is just Jay. So Jay will get this move done.
Oh no! He's hit him.
He'd rather make it without contact. Oh, I don't even know whose fault that was. That seemed very aggressive.
Arafag is hit at the end. I'm not being a race steward now, so I can't really put my judgment right there, but there might have been a little bit there was tons of room on the left-hand side, so Dreda probably stretched the limit of where he could put his car just a little bit. We're going to let the actual race stewards find about that, but that incident is a very sour moment for Arafag.
Well, Drates is in the top 10 now, in the top 12, sorry. He's in the feature race places, and he's got Arapag just ahead of him, the next Arapag driver. So that'll be 11th, and then a big gap up to that. Just shows one lockup into turn 1, and it can make all the world of difference. I really struggle to see him getting a decent result in the feature race, because even if he gets, well, he's now got Arapag, he's up to 11th place. He's going to be starting the feature in 22nd place. That's a lot of places to gain.
Certainly is a lot of positions, and you know, there's still a chance for Arafag to get up there with his sibling, because as we saw, 5 laps, anything can happen.
Coles is on the comeback trail. I mean, he is up 7 places, but I think he had some kind of setback for a moment. But he's oh, that's
lap 1 was slow for him. Just looking down the inside, tight chicane, hard onto the brakes, just nails it, and that is 7th as it gets past Bogbird, who competes also tomorrow in the F3 car.
So what was that? What relation has he got to Mari?
Oh, well, you know, he's got tomorrow. Well, today we got the Apex Racing Academy F3 Championship, and tomorrow on Apex Racing TV we got the IGB Fun F3 Championship, and he's one of those drivers that competes in both of those series. And the IGB Fun series, we get up to 62 car grids.
I've seen a little bit of that, and it is
it's chaotic.
It's very cool. It's very
awesome.
Cool. I think the most amount, in real life they were up to like 43, I think. They had like, in 2016, I think they had like 43 cars at Spa. Which must
The
have been
record
cool.
for the most FIA Formula cars was set by the Formula 4, and Kelly's off.
Oh, well, he needs to work on his rejoin. That wasn't very good. Oh, what a mistake.
More spots too. So 199, not Travis Pastrana, as we usually see that 199 being associated with Travis right there. Getting a little bit dirty, but fastest car on track, Kelly, down into 6th place after that mistake. And now we got the fight between Sabo and the units, Redford.
think we're about to see a replay of that incident. Maybe once they get to maybe turn 2, maybe we'll see that that replay, because Redford might be in for a move here. They've only got 2 seconds to McDonald. What a good drive from Dave McDonald for Rust Racing. Very successful team in this series. Have won the team's championship in the past. And he might be in for a race win if these two start fighting. Redford not with great straight line speed. I think maybe Sivisabe, I don't know. Redford looked pretty quick earlier on, but not close enough through the hairpin.
It's a very slippy car he might has going on with Daniel, as Will is right behind him. And here is the replay for the VRA Racing Jordan Kelly. He got onto the curb. The inside curb has upset the balance of the car, and around he goes. So easy to do that in that baked corner too.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Those curves can really unsettle the car, even though it's not particularly tall, just upsets the balance a bit. And shame for Kelly. Could still get Brunstad and maybe even Beer. Fourth place would be a good recovery, but that's 2 leaders with mistakes giving up the race lead. Kelly is past Brunstad, he's up into fifth.
As Sabo and Redford still racing out, let's take a look at Brunstad and Jordan Kelly. Kelly just now got across, got ahead of Brunstad, as Brunstad is now just trying to find his way back around the 199. As this is Monir Airfag up in 12th place, as it looks like his sibling is down in 15th, has more issues.
Yeah, I think it was Ismail who had the collision earlier on with Drayton, as we are moving on to the penultimate lap. So yeah, big problems for Ismail, and then Malnir doing enough. I meant to get straight through to the feature. McDonald, what was that lap time? It was a little bit slower. These two hasn't quite ignited this battle, but it's simmering. And whilst I am one for saying, don't worry about it, guys, you don't need to gain the place. There's a decent amount of extra points. I think you get 4 extra points for the race win compared to second place. So it is fairly valuable. And Sue Sabi's done a lot of these Apex Racing League events. I can't recall him ever winning a race. He's got a podium or 2, I certainly know, in the GT Championship, but I don't think he's ever got a race win, so it would be quite a big deal if he could achieve that.
Now, I do agree with you right there. Consistency is key. If you're always up there in the heats and the top spots, top 5 would be there. And I know I'm sounding like I'm completely contradicting from Heat 1 that says, you don't always need to go for the race win, but, this is getting you gridded up for also the main event, which has the most points available. So I say go for it. Let's have some fun. Give them some fireworks. You got 2 laps to go. Because the white flag is not out.
Yeah, still got 1 more to go. I think last time we managed to make it with about 20 seconds to go. These guys are running at a slower pace than what Hyman did.
Yeah, it looks like
race 1.
They're going to come across the line with about 10 seconds left, maybe 9.
Yeah. Oh, not a good run there for Redford. He's leaving himself a lot to do. He's got to absolutely nail Coco, which is one of the easier corners, at least I found, right around this circuit. And Stevie Savi's absolutely nailed it. This is pretty much as big as the gap's been coming out of the final corner for quite a while. You can see that Redford lost a 10th on that last appeal. It's a personal best, but Stevie Savi absolutely superb. And that is the main worry gone. He's just got to survive the final chicane now.
Yeah, that chicane is going to be very deadly, but white flag in the air. Civi Sasbo and Redford battling out for the lead here in heat number 2. Top 12 in advance. Currently that is McDonald, Beer, Kelly, Brunstad, Coles, Bogberg, Vigorate, Iyengar, Drayta, and Manure Airfag. Our current top 12 that is looking to get into the finale. They're going to have a little bit of break after this, as our consolation race is going to happen right after this one finishes.
Redford's Kelly's made another mistake.
Oh, no.
Oh Jordan,
Oh,
what are you
no.
playing at? Come on.
Oh, he's stuck.
He's hit the wall. Oh, he might not even get through to the feature. And I
He's
think
not
that's
moving.
possibly a hardware
is
fail
not
because
moving.
you can't crash there.
Did it just turn off? Oh, it did. That is a turn off moment. It just went straight on. No. And yeah, he's retired, and that's promoted Shane Dunn into the top 12. And I don't think Dunn will realize that he's in the top 12 until he comes across the line. As, speaking of across the line, our two leaders coming across the line right now. Daniel Sivisasbo takes the checkered of heat number 2.
Well, he picks up the pieces from the other drivers and gets a well-deserved win, and good start to the season as well for Redford and McDonald. Negrit and Boberg were fairly close for a moment, but it is Negrit who's got 7th place, 1 place down from his start. Great job from Adam Coles, who managed to get to 6th in the end. So picking up on those couple of areas, particularly from Kelly, who finishes in 16th. I'd certainly put him as the favourite to get through the Consolation straight to the fastest lap of the race. Well, that is a mega lap as well. Only tries to get into the 49ers, and he's well into the 49s. But, well, that's a classic example of what mistakes can cause you. 2 race leaders make mistakes, and they end up in 10th and 16th places. How that is going to change the complexion of this opening round of the season.
It's certainly going to be setting those 2 drivers who are just extremely fast around here. It's going to be very interesting seeing how they work through the grid, as we have a little inside information. Jordan Kelly's VR died in that corner. So everything just went black. And I don't know if you have experience in just your VR and just everything going black, but I think it was a permanent blink.
I not got too much experience, but from what I do know, that's a bad thing. That's a negative
you
thing,
kind of
not a
need to
positive
see.
thing.
As Aaron Smith is going to be starting up on pole of our Consolation race, with Airfag right beside him, followed by Derek Holland, Gilbert Carter, Jordan Kelly, hopefully with VR fixing, Alexander Roggenbuck, Nicholas Calander, Chuck Morrow, Mitch Green, and Brett Picari at the end of this 11-car Consolation race here at the Nürburgring. The Reds are building up, and hey, let's go racing. Immediate good start
try to
off
cover
the
off the
line.
inside.
Ooh, switchback right there for the 217. Airfag trying to hold it around the outside, and no one's blown it wide this time by, as it looks like Roggenbuck's just taking this easy. Top 6 advance to the finale. So if you've had a unfortunate hardware failure, Kelly, and oh no, Airfag's had an incident. Airfag's around, multiple cars around. Chuck Morrow stuck in the middle of the track. Multi-car incident.
It's all a change. We've got 6 places going from Punkari, who wouldn't have been fancying his chances, down in 11th place off the start, but he's up into 5th and in those places now. What's going on with Colander? And he's under pressure from Punkari, who probably feels the need to get past now in order to get clear of the drivers behind. It's Chuck Marrow who's currently just outside the places. And what can Ismail Arafag do? That spin through the first sector, I imagine he's going to be coming back strong, but just 10 minutes for this race, so there's really no wasting your time. Both off.
Carter and Morrow are off, and that's promoting Roggenbuck and Airfag up into 6th and 7th. And that is unfortunate, and there are no points for the Consolation race, so it's go, 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 and just trying to get that top 6. Big mistake by Smith, overcooking it into the brake zone. Here comes Jordan Kelly, eyesights and all, out in VR, down the inside of Coca-Cola corner, and up into the lead of the Consolation race. And remember, Kelly was leading heat number 2 for a while, so shouldn't be surprised by this, as he is the only pro out there on track of the 10 drivers we got, as Mitchell Green did not take the start.
Yeah, so Green's certainly not going to get through. Sure, he's going to be envious of these other drivers. That's a very funny joke there. I'm not sure if you got it, Austin. It's, I mean, your lack of laughter indicates he didn't. Holland with a problem. And Arafak as well. I'm sure the viewers got it. That is, Holland's still in 6th place, but I don't know if he's got any damage. And Punkari up into 3rd. What a race from Punkari. He's 5 seconds off the lead, but doesn't care. He is ahead of Hollander. Wonder if you get a replay of what happened to Holland. Because
I like a replay of that envious joke.
You get it, don't you?
Is that the esports team envious?
No. Because his name is Mitchell Green, and he's green with envy. See?
Oh my.
High IQ joke.
You know, I kind of wish I didn't say the you don't need to leave now after that 1 point thing we just had. I hate you now. I really do. That was no.
I'm glad about that one. To be honest, that was a proper joke at structure and everything. Holland is back ahead of Roggenbach. I'm demanding everything from Marco Balvnet, our producer, but by any chance, could we get a replay of, I think it was Arafag who spun. Well,
yeah.
We kind of saw Arafag's, but there was a few, weren't there? There was Arafag, then there was Gilbert as well.
They were all kind of combined. As here's Ismail Arafat lock up, going into turn 1, big spin, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Imsel throughout the season, as he is trying to get back up the grid, but this is the replay in 2nd place. Just too much mustard right there. Big spin, throws up a cloud of smoke, kind of causes some confusing, and here's Gilbert being stuck sideways at the end of that, as Morrow and Carter side by side heading into turn 1.
Morrow was 3 seconds past that last lap, so I think he'll be sprinting away and onto the back of Roggenbach, who he was 6 seconds faster than Roggenbach on that last lap. Oh, it's not going to take long for Morrow, is it, to get faster. I'm rooting for Roggenbach. He's done terrifically well to get up into 6th place. We only had 2 laps, so it's not a fantastic, but that's quite a range, isn't it? A 14-second range from lap 1 to lap 2. But Roggenbach's kept it consistent, but he's just a bit too slow at the moment, and he's being caught hand over fist by Morrow. Maybe he could get through to the final still, if there's something that happens up ahead.
Which could possibly happen. Picari and Calander are nose-to-tail with each other, but I got a little fact for Imsel Arafat. He's only 10.
Well, that shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's an age limit on iRacing. It's like 13, 16 or something.
Well, I just think, like...
You need
you need authorization from the parents. I mean, the reason why I don't like him is because I dislike young, successful people. As a failed 20-year-old myself, I don't really like to see other people achieve good things.
Bitter old man. I'm a positive person. I like young talent, you know. As Morrow gets around the outside of Roggenbach right there. That chicane is not Alex's friend. The only German in the field, apparently.
That's all because in the GT championship that we have on Sunday evenings, it's on tomorrow as well, Apex Racing TV. Half the top 6 last time were I think at one point 4 of the top 6 were all Germans. We've had plenty of Germans join Apex Racing League recently, along with many Scandinavians as well. Everyone is welcome, of course, for Apex Racing League. Quite a few Americans in this as well. We had a different time slot a couple of seasons ago. Maybe that was when you entered, Austin, and maybe that's taken got a few more Americans involved who have been very nice to us and being willing to enter these races, despite the fact that the time zone isn't excellent for them. But on a Saturday afternoon, it's
2 p.m.
Can be
for
doing
us.
worse things.
It's a fantastic afternoon to go racing. I know some of these guys, they like doing other stuff when the sun's out. When I saw the time slot for this, I thought actually about signing up. Then Marco insisted that I use this as a warm-up for Sunday's race.
Yes. Yes. Very professional, eh?
Yeah. As Airfag getting a lot of speed through the Schumacher S is side by side with Carl, trying to hold it around to the outside. Heading into this braking zone, a little switchback move, going for another switchback move, heading into the chicane. This is a great look for Airfag right now. Carter giving him that draft. Airfag's looking down the inside, heading through this kink, getting himself set up. Almost made collision right there in the gearbox and the diffuser. It looks like he could have attempted a bump draft right there, which is possible in these F3 cars. I don't recommend it, as Airfag is trying to get around the inside and the outside of that 225. Being driven by Bryce Carter, being very wide, gets a wide turn out of Coca-Cola, drag racing down the straight. 7 minutes down. Airfag getting that draft up. The 10-year-old trying to look for 8th place, looking down the inside. Who's going to be last late breakers? It's going to be Carter getting a good jump into there. Airfag with a little bit of a lockup side by side still. And this is a great fight, because these drivers are just going for position now. They're not in the top 6. Airfag, big send. How did he hold that around the inside of that corner going that fast? Wow.
Could still get Roggenbuck, maybe. Roggenbuck 54. Oh, but much better lap actually there from Roggenbuck 54-2. If he was still in the 58s, then he'd be catchable, but should be alright in that 7.
Is
that Roggenbuck?
Yeah, Roggenbuck in that chicane is just not dealing with it very well. I think he's a little bit used to the Nürburgring endurance chicane, where it's not much of a chicane. It's more just like a little pit stop in the GT3s.
Yeah, it's very no, I mean, both chicanes are annoying because this one is too narrow in order to go side by side, and that one has a very annoying 1x, and it is very tricky to overtake.
I'd rather take a 1x than having my car just fly into a barrier and giving me 11 minutes of repair in the first 15 minutes of all of our endurance races here at Apex Racing TV commentator team that we have.
Well, we've kicked you off that now, and we've had very good results.
I've been reinstated. I've been reinstated.
Oh no! Oh, someone doesn't want to get good results then. I don't know who you authorised that. Barry is up ahead. Marco Valvinier saying that it was him. Barry up into 5th. He was 2 seconds past that last lap, so on the comeback is Barry after that struggling start, and he's well within the reverse, the final places now. In fact, they're all closing in, aren't they? This fight could be fairly close by the end.
It's going to be a very entertaining fight at the end of this race, which is this lap, because the white flag's out right now as we pass over the 10-minute mark.
Kelly and Smith, I think Smith pretty much let Kelly past earlier on. That they were just absolutely one mission, and that's get through to the Consolation, and they've done that. These guys have driven really well. Pancari, certainly driver of this race, he's done awesome from 11th on the grid.
Yeah, Pancari avoided a lot of incidents and kept it clean, and only has 1x that I can see for the Canadian right there.
Yes, that's very good, especially in these cars. As here comes Kelly around the final couple of corners, and this is what we should have seen in Heat 2. Him taking a race win. It's come a bit late, but he is going to get it at least.
Yeah, the 3rd checkered waves today for the Consolation race. Jordan Kelly, with VR working, takes the win and advances to the finale.
I approve of that fast lap, by the way. 50-point dead. That is lovely stuff. As here comes Mauro. Is he going to go for the big move? He stays behind, but could be a good cutback here. It's a slow exit.
He does have pace.
Oh, here he goes.
He does have pace. He does have pace. He is not going to get it.
One more corner.
One longer straight. He definitely had it at the start line, but not at the finish line, which gets me onto an entirely new different tangent on who decides that the finish line is at the end of the grid and not where the start line is. It's called the start-finish line, and there's a dash, not the start and then finish line. As you know, I could go on and on about this, but we got a 5-minute warm up for all these drivers to get ready to go for our grand finale.
So, of course, this series is sponsored and heavily helped out by, because these drivers all get some that's from Apex Racing Academy. To show you a bit of a trailer just to see what Apex Racing Academy offers whilst this 5-minute warm-up session is happening. So we'll be back with you very quickly on Apex Racing TV.
Welcome back to the Apex Racing Academy VRS F3 Super Series. I really needed echo for that. But after our consolation race and our race number 1 and race number 2, Jordan Kelly took the win of our consolation race. Not race number 2 as the title says, but we've had 3 races and our finals is set. Kelly, Smith, Picari, Kullander, Morrow, and Holland advance to our finale as we're seeing drivers tackle the ring now and learning this track and getting ready to go again, as there's the correct tagline for the consolation result.
Yeah, it was fairly simple for Kelly, wasn't it, in the end? But you will be starting this race in 25th position, so that is 25th down to 30 drivers eligible for this race. And of course the winner from Heat 1 is in pole, winner of Heat 2 goes in second place in Heat 1 goes in third, second place in Heat 2 goes in pole. As you probably assume then, all those drivers in the Constellation, all the top 6 drivers in the Constellation go just tag on to the back of the pack. I think everyone's allowed to drive in the warm-up, which is quite nice, aren't they?
Yeah,
or is there just 30 cars?
Yeah, 35 cars out here, and you know, the warm-up is a time to warm up, cool down, or just take out your complete anger into one of these corners or walls and tire barriers, or just try to figure out something that didn't work out. I wouldn't suggest absolutely hitting somebody that was the cause of why you're not in the finale. That's used for Discord and the race chat afterwards.
Yes.
Or that just
I know
might
my
be
strategy is usually just to sit in the pits and, I don't know, go on my phone or something. I don't know why, but it's because the racing is too intense that I really cannot be bothered to be out on circuit if I don't have to be, which really does show the I know, I'm not sure if that's a very good attitude. What do you do? Do you just sit in the pits?
You know what I usually do? I sit back, I take it all in. I usually sit back and just crack open a cold one, like what I'm doing right now.
My goodness, drinking on the job. You'll be kicked off. I'll have this contribute to myself soon at this rate.
It's cola, don't worry. I don't drink alcohol.
Nah. I've got the clip. I'll send that through, and we won't see you anymore.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows I don't drink alcohol.
Well, now everyone does know, or the 45 viewers which are watching this stream, which we very much appreciate you for doing so. And of course, if you've enjoyed this, do click the like button, because then you're more likely to get recommended future rounds of the championship. And we have got 8 more rounds of this championship, and if you want to line up on the grid, if you want to join the 40 drivers we currently have signed up to 60 drivers can be signed up though. So, you know, if you want to take part, there are spots available. Go gather some of your friends if you want to, or you can just sign up as an individual driver if you so wish. And to do all of that, go to Apex sportsracingleague.com, where you can find details on the championship. Of course, this series follows the official F3 series, so if you already take part in that series, yeah, this series is a very good one to join, as 5-minute warm-up is over, and oh, it's the big one, Austin. It's the final.
It is the final, and since it's the big grid, I'll let you take the big grid to heart.
Oh, here we go. Raul Hyman on pole position there, staying Stevie Sabo. Stephen Westerhoff, sorry, top of the amateur dress. Then it's Will Redford, the 52-year-old. Thanks, Will, for revealing his age there. Brian Crone starts in 5th, and Dave McDonald starts in 6th. The rest of the drivers will go through for you, because we've only got 30 more seconds of gridding to go. Kevin Kittelman, one of the highest placed amateur drivers there for Indy Autosport, in 13th. Some newbies, some experienced drivers, real mix. Watch out for Paolo Drater as well, starting in 20th place. And watch out for Jordan Kelly as well, both of which could have won Heat 2. Both had issues. We'll see how far up the order they can get.
25 cars lined up and ready to go. They went through trials of the first seat. Some had to fight their way through a consolation. We're going to find out who's going to win the first race of the Apex Racing Academy Formula 3 Series, as we're go here at the Nürburgring. Hyman gets a monster start off the line.
Look at the move from Westerhoff. He's nailed it again. Inside line all day long. And he's up into 2nd place. Absolutely nailing the starts is the Dutchman tonight. Good start for Jackson Bell up 4 places, but that's fairly far down the order. The top guys very much staying in similar places. McDonald getting past Crone as they slalom their way through this first section. Issues for Costa de Silva. He started up in about 13th place, I believe, but he's way down. Arafag and Van Ackeren also with sluggish starts, but these top guys managed to re-navigate those first few corners well.
Yeah, Westerhoff, this absolutely monster move down the inside. What a start he's had as Coles is off in the gravel. We got a multi-car incident. 3 cars stopped, pointing the other way, driving around, and some kicking up dust and looking like it is a quarry out there, as Raul Hyman launching away from the field as he's being chased now by Westerhoff, as we're on board the 16-year-old Will Redford, not his dad, Mark Redford, who is 52. Will is 16.
I'd like you to not point that out.
His dad pointed it out.
Doing that. Well, yeah, and his dad can stay quiet, frankly, if I had my way.
These live chats are safe.
Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
It's in history. Oh, no, it will! Contact, and he's around a multi-car. Hits Redford, made contact. I believe might have been hit by David McDonald on him as well, and might have had a little bit of contact with Connor Bell. Oh, that is not the first lap you want to see. 20-minute race.
Westerhoff is glitching in and out of the server. This is very tricky for Stevie Sabo to get past, but Westerhoff is staying in 2nd place, but that connection is far worse than what it was in Heat 1. Martu, who had problems, of course, in the Heat 1, he's up 7 places in this feature race. Much better driving from Martu, and he's doing very well up there in 8th place. Jack Reeve up 12 places, he had problems, and Jordan Kelly up 12 places up into 13th. So some huge changes. There you can see them up, and Redford down 18. And he was close enough to the pits there, I think, to drive back and pick up the fast defense. So it's not dreadful for Redford. He'll score some points, but he could have been so much more.
He's not out of the race just yet. 20-minute race. Like I've always been said, anything can happen within 20 minutes. This entire field could catch on fire, and he could be up on the podium. And if you think I was pulling that one out, no, I saw it happen last night in a modified race. Sure, that's oval racing, but anything can happen.
Like, these cars are more brittle, so maybe these cars are just as likely. Oh, that is a move from Kelly. Oh, he couldn't pull it off though. Good defense there from Boberg, the Swedish driver. Westerhoff still having problems, that's why he's dropping down the order, as that is Crone. And he is apologies, no. So that's Bell. Bell passing Crone there. So
Yeah.
Crone has fallen down the order. He started up in 4th, but just really not matching that pace they had earlier on.
Yep, Brian just lost a little bit of places right there, but, you know, he could get it right back. I think he might have a little bit of damage, because I think he did make contact with Redford as he spun. So he might be suffering with a little bit of damage. And if you hit one of these curbs wrong, you could get floor damage on these cars, which is really going to be impactful on your straight line speed, as some of these drivers are just making up their own track coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, using all the space and more. Hyman, 1.5 seconds clear. Westhoff had a bit of a poor end of lap 1 and actually was 2 seconds slow on that last lap. Hyman really romping away to pick up another race victory, just as he did last season on so many occasions. But there's some epic battles going on further back. I think, if anything, that Reeve-Kelly battle, which I think we all know, Collender and Holland have had a problem. And that's fairly early in the circuit. They may be, that might be the end of their days. Reached the David Coulthard crashed off 22 years ago, nearly 22 years ago, of course, around this circuit. Here was Holland just not braking early enough, and then a secondary contact didn't help the situation.
Yeah, 2 amateur drivers, after making it into the first final of the year, well, they only have chances to go upwards now throughout the year, and we're going to be seeing some of these drivers improve throughout the year and learn a little bit different ways to race each other very soon. So I'm excited to see on the improvement of some of these drivers and how close this field's going to be at the end of the year. But the first race of the year is always a little bit of a testing the waters type of situation.
Oh, that is slow for Negritz there. I don't know what happened there. Where did he like skip the chicane? Oh, that is almost into bad. Oh, Crone round. Oh, this is a dreadful final for Crone. But as long as he hasn't got damage, it's not the end of the world. And that is Negritz continuing to lose places. He was so slow down the pit straight. And he's just been absolutely swamped. He's got, this is Reeve losing a couple of places.
He's had a bad chicane exit, I believe. Might have had a slowdown penalty, but wait. I think he might have a little bit of damage on his car. Yeah, I'm seeing some white on that nose of Negritz, so no. Doesn't look like damage. It's just the sun reflecting off the blue. As I'm trying to be an absolute drama machine and just trying to find a reason for everything, I feel like he was just at a little bit of a slowdown. But hey, that's what we do at commentators. We just try to find and make this interesting.
Absolutely. Whenever we say something competently, we don't actually know what to talk about. We just say competently, and you viewers think that we know what we're talking about. So, Boberg, he is Swedish, by the way. I wonder if we could get the flags up, because it's quite a mix of nationalities. Drivers from all corners of the world. No Australians, I believe, but most of the rest of the world is included. South Africa, one of the drivers is from, actually.
Yeah, Hyman,
top 25
Formula 3 Asian.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Hyman has experience in this car in real life. Formula 3 Asian champion. You didn't know that fact, did you?
McDonald's in.
Oh, that. Well, that's an Italian front wing. Yeah, that front wing is not attached.
National state. Oh, the 284 by Boberg. Wow, 3 wide, pretty much all, leaving room for one another. And it's Kittleman up into 12th. He's made up a couple of quick places. Reeve up 10 places. And he's kind of just stalled recently, and Kittleman's actually been able to reclaim that position. He lost earlier on to him. He's up one place from the start is the Indy Autosport red driver. By the way, Kelly and Drater, who were both leading Heat 2 at some points, they're now 9th and 10th. So this is the kind of battle that we wanted to have. Kelly just getting past Crone here. Co's got a bit of
great
damage
battle.
on that front wing, so it's going to be a dull race for him, but he should hang on against the Greens. I think Chrome will just have a dull race in 10th place from here.
Airfag going into the pits for his second time. Nope. Yeah, it's the first time, not the second time. No, it is the first time. He's in the pits.
Either way, it's bad.
Yes. And this is the race that he doesn't want it to experience again. It's a 16 of Reeves off. A lot of runoff on this track, so wall contact after going off is not going to be a threat, unlike it is on the Nordschleifer, which is probably why you'll never see Formula 1 competition again. But I still go back and watch those F1 laps around, the recent F1 laps around there, because it's, the Nürburgring is always fantastic to watch.
Yeah, it sure is. Whatever you're driving, it always looks very scary. I think, particularly, I was watching some motorcycling around there, just some hot laps. But
now that's scary. I would not do that. I'm not a fan of bikes, to be fair, but yeah, I could not do that around the Nürburgring. 148 corners, and no one's driven as many laps around the Nordschleifer as Sabine Schmitz, who unfortunately passed away a few weeks ago. And there is talk about Sabine getting her name, a corner named after her very soon. As big spin for Coles.
Well, I can actually pronounce Sabine's name, so I'm up for that because on the corners I can. Yeah, Merzel then with that off. Was it Merzel, sorry? Well, it was someone, wasn't it? But Merzel also losing a place. Yeah, more problems for the Jazz. That's part of the circus being a real problem for them tonight. As we see this man absolutely dominating the race. Raoul Hyman. Yeah, of course, as Austin was saying, very successful in real-life motorsports, and also they finished second place in this championship last season, going for the title this time. And he is putting himself on the correct course with this performance tonight. He's got 9 minutes to go to get the first race, or the first feature race win of the season. Best part's going on now is Brunstad, as Redford has just got past Boberg, but that's Redford kind of out of position after that spin. How is Redford still going? I thought he was going to have to return to the pits, but you were right, Austin, as Mauro is getting past Punkari. That was very nicely slotted in the pit.
Oh, that was awesome to watch. And here's Kelly on the inside of Brunstad. Brunstad around the outside lockup, trying to use the wider line to his advantage. He does make it almost work, but Kelly's just ahead of him.
And straight away, Jada's desperate to try to get past.
Yeah, Dreda, well, one of our leaders that had a recovery race to get up into the top 12 in heat number 2. It was, and after contact with one of the airfags, definitely wants a better race than this, but he's going to try to make the most of it, and he knows he has pace around here, so he's very confident in his driving style.
Yeah, he sure is. Just trying to think. Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought Crone had gone missing as here comes. Oh, he's onto the grass up. Wasn't quite perfect. It's compromised his speed.
Really sending it.
Asking to go down the inside there, and Brunstad just opening up the steering and realizing that the Brazilian was a bit too fast. So I think that might be his. That could get beer. Could get beer ahead. Marcho will be tricky, but beer certainly possible to catch up as we are on board with Redford, the youngish driver. In too young as well. Any teenagers? Get clear. He's 13th and well,
he's 16. He's 16.
Well, yeah, teenager. Go away.
Oh, I'm 26. Oh no. Well, that was a murder. Reeve is around.
Oh, well, I mean, if you want an example of a bad race, Jack Reeve is doing a very good case at the moment because He's had 3 spins, I think.
Yeah, 3 spins, and he's still a spot above where he started, but that was too much mustard going in. Came across the track right there, and really nowhere that McDonald could go, and, you know, they tapped, made contact, and around he went. Very unfortunate for Reed, but, you know, still up a spot from where he started, so he had a great start. Just after the start, not so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you start that far down, you kind of think, oh, I'd like this race to be as long as possible. And yeah, it's actually 2 laps long, and would have probably been the best for Reeve there. We have comes once again on Hyman. Westerhoff catching a bit on that last lap. Hyman a little bit inconsistent there. Just a 50.4 that last time round. Westerhoff dropping Civi Sabo. So maybe the pendulum swing towards the Dutch driver, but at best he's, well, yeah, he was a bit faster than last lap, but I think Hyman has the balance on this lap. They've been very evenly matched.
Indeed. Something could have happened with Hyman. You know, you get lapped cars here and there. Oh, that is Reeve again. No.
He's got his season 1. Oh. That's a good move. And that was
very nice
move.
Almost a collision with Justin right there, but Kroon's got the had the actual racing line, and you know, when you aren't, that was a tricky move to get right, but hey, he's made it. Yeah, but Reeves had his fair share of camera time that he doesn't want to see back again.
Yeah. Oh, that's a late move, and he's pulled it off. But Kroon is coming back up the inside. Now you can stay side by side around this part of the circuit, and Kroon holds on again. What a defense this is. And Kittleman, who's already gained a few places in this race, is quickly getting in on the scene, and Redford as well, who is out of position.
Kittleman, one of the longest names on our timing board, definitely wants to see his name in the top 10, as these two, Kroon and Negrete, very hard fought for this 10th place with 5 minutes remaining here at the Nürburgring for the Apex Racing Academy F3 Championship presented by VRS.
And of course, we should thank Virtual Racing School for sponsoring this, sponsoring this series. And of course, VRS is integrated into Apex Racing Academy. So if you get yourself a subscription for both, then you can use the setups for both very easily. And so big thanks to Virtual Racing School, and do check out VRS, of course, if you're looking to improve your driving in, because they do data packs for 50 cars, I believe, which is absolutely mega. As here comes Negrete. Kroon is slow down the straight, and Negrete might be able to get past.
Now, Kroon was on the outside, but Kroon has damage. Look at the front right wing of Kroon. He's got front wing damage as Negrete gets hit from behind by Kevin Kittleman. But Kroon, look at the front right wing. That wing is bent upwards. He's made contact and has received damage from there. So now he's got a wild pack of 3 cars behind him, trying to fight between each other and fight for 10th place, as we got a 4-car fight. Kittleman going down to the inside, almost getting hit by Redford right there as the Greets down the inside. Kroon still trying to escape from these 3, but that damage is going to be hindering him like a ball and chain now, as 3 hungry bears are coming after their pot of honey, aka top 10.
I like that analogy. It's as though everyone else has got DRS down the straights compared to Kroon, such as his damage on that front wing that he's been carrying pretty much from the start. But that break that he's made could be crucial for his chances to hold them behind. Kissman just leaving a bit of a gap now, 0.3 of a second to the car ahead. And now these guys start getting in a row, then they might be able to catch back up. And remember, Kissman and Kroon are both Indy Autosport drivers, both Indy Autosport Red. In fact, they have entered 2 different teams. Both of 3 drivers each have Indy Autosport more drivers than any other team for this championship. But they're not working together, because Redford thinks, I'm faster than you, I'm going to go for the move, and Kittleman is going for the move as well. What a bold overtake that was. It hasn't worked out, but it might work out later.
He definitely thinks he has the pace. He's going to look down the inside, heading into the kink, trying to go for a around the outside move, heading into the chicane, wheel to wheel, side by side, And who's going to be the last late breakers? They're both standing in it, but look at the move that Justin did, but he's backed up so much onto the apex. Didn't want to come across and make contact. Kittleman up in the 12th. And here goes Justin looking down to the inside once more. Man, all these drivers are putting all on the line for that top 10, and Krohn is knowing if they keep fighting between each other, he has a chance to stay face and stay in that top 10 with a broken front wing. Justin with a big... No, that's Rickard Bodberg on Justin. Bodberg's up in the 13th.
Gains a second on that last lap, as I believe we're on the last lap of the race. And, well, this last lap couldn't come soon enough for Bell because he's a half-second clear, but 40 seconds to go. The white flag is out for Raoul Hyman to take the first race win of the season. Westerhoff just dropping back in the last couple of laps, but look at Bell, he is close, but I don't think he's, apologies, this is Marchu, he's close to Bell, but, oh, this will, yeah, it'll come down to the wire, into the chicane. I think he's a bit too far back.
Yeah, not Maro, I mean Marto. The 3-letter abbreviations are throwing me off right here. Marco, what are you doing to me? As Hyman
out in the lead, 2 seconds to go. This will be it.
Yeah. Checkers flags in the air one last time around the Coca-Cola corner and taking the first race victory here in the Apex Racing Academy F3 Series of 2021. Raul J. Hyman.
And it was Bell who hung on at the end against Marcho.
I want to see this. Krohn is holding it off with a broken front wing. A late dive by Redford is just has a little stretch of road to work with, but it's not going to be enough. Brian Krohn takes top 10 with a broken front wing.
That was very well driven by Brian. He was much slower with that front wing, but he did excellently well. Side by side between Smith and Reeve. Smith got through the consolation over. Oh, he's almost flipping it right there. He should reach the line, but that's not how Smith wanted to end the evening. He's still trying to battle Collander. He had his own problems earlier on, and Collander, well, has he made the corner? He's a bit wide. Oh, this could be very close to the line. I think Collander,
he's still
to the
coming
pit
across.
wall.
It's going to be a drag race, but it's not going to be it.
Collander gets set. It was just over 1 point. It's but it was worth it. Nice battle.
What a battle. Here's a replay of that incident between these two. You're going to get rocked for your world on board of Aaron Smith. Around the outside, just a little bit of a dive, and unfortunately a big hit right there. Wheel-to-wheel contact kind of acts like a little bit of a ramp if you hit the front part of the wheel with the back part of the wheel of the car in front of you. You kind of get sent up in there. It's more common in lower formulas. I've seen a USF 2000 just completely do a barrel roll at St. Petersburg. It was absolutely insane. But that's pretty much how that happens in real life.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's weird how commonly that happens. But no, they got the roll hoop at least, and it's not a problem in the sim world at least. Somehow the wheels all stayed on it, and they all were pointing in the right direction, despite that big drop right at the end. About Hyman, though, with the race win, 3.6 seconds clear of Stephen Westerhoff. As an amateur driver, though, that is a mighty performance. Then it was Daniel Sivisabe, Connor Bell, Kwai Tiago Marchu, Florian Beer, very much under the radar in 6th. There's Jordan Kelly recovering good points along with Paolo Drater in 7th and 8th. Then it was Simon Bunstad, Brian Krohn, Will Redford, Kevin Kitzman, Ricard Boberg, Justin Negrit, Rock Merzel, Brett Punkari, Daniel Costa de Silva. Up to a post out as well for de Silva. He did well to get to 17th. There was Adam Coles, Dave McDonald, Shane Dunn, Jack Reeve, Nicholas Collander, Aaron Smith, Chuck Mauro, Derek Holland, and then one lap down was Christian Engelhardt and Maunir Arafag. So good job from the drivers actually to get to the end. It was just Alok Iyengar, Jackson Bell and Rick Van Ackeren who retired from the race and will not score points.
Yeah, very, very exciting day for the opening round of the Apex Racing Academy VRS F3 Super Series. Oh, how excited are you for this entire season after that race?
I am very excited. That was I am impressed actually by how few incidents there were, and I know there were a few, but particularly after the race starts, it was really high quality driving. So if we keep that
Indeed.
up, then it should be good, and yeah, hopefully we might have a couple of new entrants as well for the next few rounds of the championship. It's a long way to go, but I think Valheim has kind of made himself the favourite after tonight.
Well, he has that real life experience backing him. He knows how to go faster. He's driven this car in real life, and you know, when you have that real life experience on a car you've driven in the sim, you kind of know the tips and tricks, but you also know the limits of the car much more, and you're able to kind of just reach over those limits just a little bit more, and you know, it works for him. It just works.
Yeah, it does. It'd be awesome to have a chat with him, but unfortunately, no one is willing to have a chat with us at the moment. Mark, apparently we can talk to Jeff Giassi, if we want, but
I don't think
I
Jeff
think
is in the series.
I think he's meant to be in the interview waiting area too, but he's jumped into the one. Anyway,
There he
you
goes.
can have a chat with us. Whoever, maybe who's listening, everyone's listening. Whoever you are, no, you gotta be a driver. Let's clear this up. Unless you're Mark, Mark, was it Redwood? Oh my goodness, I'm having a mare. Anyway, we got a driver in for us finally, and I'm gonna pass over to Austin Knight before I have another aneurysm.
Well, I'm standing by with Daniel Civi-Sasmo, who finished third here today in the finale. Daniel, how was that race, and how are those multiple races that you were in? What was going through your head today, especially in that finale?
Oh, it was so long, like those 11 laps. Like it's been like so long, and like on lap 8, behind me it was Connor, whom made an issue, and then after that I was just
Well, you came home
conserving.
on the
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, you came on the podium. It was a very good result to you. You had Westerhoff on your inside off the start of that line. What was going through your mind when you saw that move and start by Westerhoff?
Don't hit me, please. Just don't hit me.
Well, you had a great...
And it was clean in the end, so it's fine.
All right. Well, you had an amazing start to the season for you here in the Apex Racing Academy F3 series. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, anyone who want to shout out?
The team. So Kevin, Adam, Derek, and Brian. These 4 lads.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to be proud of you. You put yourself as a very good stepping stone and a very good first race of the season for the upcoming races. Thank you, Daniel. And I believe Sam is standing by with another driver.
Oh, well, no, I won't have it. Oh, no, well, we've only got one more. We've got to have a chat with Conor, and I really want to have a chat with Will Redford. I really want to have a chat with his dad as well, because they sound like a classic pair right there. But we are going to have a chat with Conor because he did exceptionally well tonight, did the Canadian, with 2 4th positions. Congratulations, Conor. You must be delighted for that in your first race of the season.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, that was a pretty good race. I think I might have had the chance for 3rd, but I don't know if you guys saw, I had a little screw up with a few laps to go coming into turn 1. Nearly conceded 4th as well, but yeah, overall pretty happy with that result.
how was Heat 1 for you? I think it was fairly dull from what I can see, because it seemed like Hyman was just in a different planet, but you still managed to get that secure result. Yeah, how was it in that race one?
Actually, yeah, it was pretty eventful. In my perspective, I actually, I think I watched it back. I hit Keo. Not sure his full name, but Keo. I hit him in his gearbox coming into the carousel on the midway part of the track there. Apologize to him. That was my fault, but I had a good battle going with Daniel in the last few laps. I actually got up to third, but he passed me on the last lap. So, yeah, overall some good races today.
Definitely. We just saw a replay of your lap 1 in the final, and you somehow managed to avoid a car coming out of the chicane. That looks very close.
Yeah, I got a little nervous there. Thought I was gonna get taken out, but got through it. So was pretty happy about that.
And 8 meetings still to go this season. I mean, have you got your eyes on the title? Is that your aim for the season? Because it certainly started off very well.
No, I don't think that's possible right now. Raoul Hyman is just in another league, but hopefully second or third, probably third place is realistic for me. So hopefully I can achieve that. But yeah, we'll just have to see.
Well, we're certainly on course for that at the moment. Connor, congratulations tonight. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Not at the moment, but maybe next time. We'll see.
Awesome. We'll see you back next week then, Connor.
Yeah, you too, guys. Thank you.
Connor Bell there with 2 4th positions. I think will be 4th in the standings after tonight. So congratulations to him. Apologies, that's all the interview. I was saying before, come on, guys. Join us for interviews. Join us for interviews earlier next time, and we can have some more chats. But no, it's been a good evening of racing, Austin.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic evening, and I can't wait for next week now when we get back on for the next round of 4 races. I love this format. It's just a good afternoon sitting around and commentating on some great racing out there on track.
I haven't commentated on many of these heat racing formats. Yeah, and I'm impressed. It's constant action, isn't it? With the kind of the short race, and then you got the 30 for the feature race as well, which is a little bit longer. No, it works very well. Yeah, of course, that will be in store for the next 8 meetings of the season. Quick shout out, by the way, to Virtual Racing School, Apex Racing Academy, and of course SDK Gaming as well. SDK Gaming providing our overlay, and you can get yourself an overlay just like this for your streaming, for your broadcasting, or as a heads-up display by going to sdk-gaming.co.uk. So yeah, thanks to all of those guys, and yeah, looking forward to next week.
Yeah, certainly. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I've been joined by Sam Fitzpatrick with Marco Bobineri in the production booth. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.